Incessantly. It's raining very heavily indeed at this stage. McDeegan ready to take the sideline kick. Game still scoreless. Micheál McGill, the entertainment's manager, towards Ross Carr. Good long ball. Now the hop here, deceiving. Paul Curran, Mickey Linden, the vice-captain of this down team. Paddy Moran coming out but unable to beat Gregory McCartan. McCartan kicking, looking for the first score, and it just goes over John O'Leary's crossbar. Down go in front. Well, this is a kick here that John O'Leary might well have opted to try and catch on a drier day. It came down on towards the crossbar and over. Deegan chased the whole time there by Pat Gilroy, and that's a free in the act of trying to take the ball up. Mickey Linden, the player who was in with the boot. Mickey Linden really is one of the paciest players in senior Gaelic football. Once again the point from our camera inside the goal. Vinnie Murphy. Free to Dublin. Referee really up with the play very smartly. Taken quickly across towards Desi Farrell's corner. And Paul Higgins has shown himself in the past to be a very good man marker. Paul Clark kicking, and that's gone through the post and over. Paul Clark has got to be marked by James McCartan, or maybe it should be the other way around. And when McCartan goes very deep indeed, Desi Farrell appreciated that Clark is a very good shooter. That's a good point. It will not suit down at all if players like James McCartan and Greg Blaney start to come too deep. Gregory McCartan. Once again, it's Paul Clark. This time, Eamon Burns picks it up. A bit of work here for the corner forward, Gary Mason to get at. Paddy Moran belted in well, fisted away by Charlie Redmond. Niall Guigan now popping up on the right-hand side. Nicely in for Desi Farrell. Looked around, considered the return pass, gives it back to Niall Guigan. Angry getting tight, goalkeeper out. And that's gone off the defender for a 45. Very open play so far in this match. Now Guidan, the one who's closing in here, that goes off the knees of Niall Collins. Charlie Redmond today playing in a 33rd championship match. Hoping it'll be third time lucky as well, having finished on the losing side in 1985 and 1992. This to try and give Dublin the lead. Little or no breeze about this afternoon, but there is that rain. Good looking kick from Charlie. Great point from the 45. Dublin go in front. Very much the darling of the hill. Dublin in front for the first time in this final. Neil Collins switching the kick out towards Gregory McCartan, likely to pop up anywhere. Down towards Aidan Farrell. Back to Greg Blaney, Dublin Stars at 91. Nicely in towards Mickey Linden, who's been isolated inside there. Linden getting free, chance of an equaliser, and he's put it over. That was very close indeed. A point then for Mickey Linden, and the sides are level. Just for a minute there I thought the umpire was going to flag that one wide. Linden got there just ahead of Paul Curran. Just measured it accurately, just inside the right upright. saying foul. Down get the free. Jack Sheedy is back into midfield with Brian Steins and with Pat Gilroy, and effectively Dublin are playing three in that sector. That goes off the boot there of Craig Blaney on towards Mickey Linden. Paul Kern is coming out. Dermot Deasy lending his assistance. Knocking it across here. Dropped down by Jack Sheedy. It was intended for Paul Clark. And instead, Raymond Burns. Now, James McCartan. The wee man himself. Going to steal in for a point. Off the post, comes down again. Into the waiting arms of Dermot Deasy. Very close indeed. Paul Clark. Over the head there of Vinnie Murphy. Gathered well by Barry Breen. Down towards Mickey Linden. Oh, great save! That's a tremendous save by John O'Leary. Brilliant save indeed. It may have been James McCartan who got the last touch to it. We'll have to watch it again. Barry Breen knocking it in there, seeing that McCartan had got away. Great save. One of the best of the season. James McCartan stole inside there. That was certainly a goal chance. There's a change of studs here by one of the down players. Possible pass into DJ Kane, I think it may be. So we'll have a 45, and we well might have had a down goal. Ross Carr, normally a very confident free taker. He was practicing frees in the rain in Uri last week. Looks good. It's over the bar. Great point by Ross Carr. We've had 2 points now from 45s. I remember a coach a few years ago of an All-Ireland team confessing afterwards that he hadn't got his free taker to take the frees in the rain during training because he was worried he might get double pneumonia. And there you see the elements being very unkind this afternoon. Brian Stein still to exert a major influence at midfield. So far the down pair, in particular Gregory McCartan, getting on the ball time and again. Barry Breen, who played that marvellous ball in for James McCartan a little while ago, into Aidan Farrell. And the referee in there quickly. Aidan Farrell is on the ground, and the player being called across is Paul Curran. Paul Curran, who's played just about everywhere for the Dubs, is given the warning. I think the name was taken as well. This is the incident once again here. As Paul Curran was coming across here, the elbow was very high and it wasn't a fair side-to-side charge, and the rule book decrees it. So this simpler chance for Ross Carr, and an opportunity to put down ahead by 2 points. Down's medical officer is Dr. John Gribben. Composing himself. And was the defence back 13 metres? I'm not sure. I don't think so. They get away with it. And just one between them. And this time a free once again against the Dubs. Any steps taken. So Keith Barr having a quick word there with referee Tommy Sugru. So once again, there's a down free kick, entrusted to Ross Carr. This time the cover back, the requisite distance, he measured it nicely. So 2 points for Ross Carr, and Down now leading by double scores. Well, a long, long way to go. Barry Breen tries to break it down. Down very good at getting onto the break and ball very quickly. Towards Mickey Linden. Against Paul Curran, it's having real problems. Linden, and that time it was Jack Sheedy coming back into the back. Quizzical look on the face of Jack Sheedy, not much doubt about it. Very all nonplussed by the counter-arguments. This is again where Jack was coming in, and I think it was with the right hand that he managed to bundle him over. So once more the left boot of Ross Carr from Clonduff near Newry. Low enough trajectory, but same result. 3 points for Ross Carr, and it's 5-2 to Down. Really is a miserable afternoon. John O'Leary changing his mind at the very last second. Dermot Deasy going long. Fisted away by Gregory McCartan. His namesake James trying to keep the ball in play, but it's going to be a Dublin sideline kick. Paul Clark unable to hit it fast. Deep one inside towards Vinnie Murphy. We've yet to see the best of Vinnie. To near the goalkeeper. Eamon Burns. Gathered up here by Keith Barr. Niall Guyden. Ryan Steins back again to Niall Guyden. Now to Jack Sheedy. Scoring not normally the best part of his game, but this is much, much better. Jack Sheedy took his time. Very accurate kick, and it's 5 points to 3. Certainly settle the Dubs down and give Jack a huge boost of confidence. And Mick Deegan trying to get to the end of it with Ross Carr. Breaks kindly for Deegan. Sells a dummy. 2 Down players there waiting for it. One of them is Micheál McGill. There's a colleague in support on his right-hand side. Down towards Mickey Linden. Won instead by Paddy Moran. McDeegan once again. Charlie Redmond waiting for it. Getting there ahead of Barry Breen. Into space towards Mick Galvin. It comes away off his marker. Back towards Charlie Redmond again. This is a very good move. Niall Guyden attempting to fist the point. That's the second wide for Dublin. And that should have been a score. It was a great build-up, and he'd be very disappointed. But for once, the Down defence was stretched badly there. Very good move indeed. Ryan Steins fisting the way to the left-hand side. Jack Sheedy was the intended recipient. So it's Eamon Burns who's gone back to right half, and DJ Kane has gone back to left half. Appeals all around. And now it's Aidan Farrell. Back to Greg Blaney. Getting space. Just enough to get it back towards Mickey Linden once again. Linden in towards James McCartan. Drifts away from his man time and again, but Paul Clark did well. Brian Steins. Long ball up towards Desi Farrell. Farrell breaks it down towards Vinnie Murphy. Murphy being roared on by the Dublin fans, but he kicks to the right. 2 promising attacks now by Dublin in the last couple of minutes, coming to naught. Steins attempting to fetch. Vinnie Murphy fisting it ahead. Dessie Farrell having difficult in the recent conditions, holding on. That'll be a down ball. Gregory McCarthy been reminded by the linesman Paddy Russell to take it back. Knocked forward well. Here's Mickey Linden. Here's a goal chance. James McCarthy rolls it in. A goal after nearly 18 minutes. That was coming. The Dublin defence ripped apart. It all came from a sideline kick, and when Mickey Linden was in the clear, he could have gone for the goal himself, but unselfishly, he placed James McCarthy. Broken down again by Gregory McCarthy. Barry Breen on towards Aidan Farrell. This is really putting it up to Dublin. Knocked on by Ross Carr. Mickey Linden racing. Paul Curran coming out for it. He leaves it behind, touches it on the ground, and that's going to be a free in to down. Nothing going right just now for Dublin in defence. This is the goal again from just behind the goal. It was a good knock on initially to place Mickey Linden in the clear. Here's Gary Mason, down with an embarrassment of riches when it comes to free taking. And again, you wonder if the Dublin player, Keith Barr, was back 13 metres. Ball very slippery, and Greg Blaney running into the official. Nicely back and popped over the bar, brilliantly so by the full forward Aidan Farrell. His first point of the day, and the gap widens. Down have taken a firm grip on this tie, solid in defence, better in midfield, creating openings up front. That was the block there as the ball squirmed outside. Jack Sheedy, and there was where Greg Blaney just collided with Tommy Subaru. That drive, it's Ross Carr. Where he says it's going to be free to Dublin. Tom O'Neill is the most concerned. Eamon Burns, the work rate of this down team is quite admirable. They play well for one another, and they have the confidence as well of knowing what it takes to win in All-Ireland. They've done it, this Dublin team does not. Oscar dealt it in well. James McCarthy recovers, then is stripped, it appears, by Paul Clark. The referee says play on. Aidan Farrell gets it back as far as Conor Deegan. McCarthy fumbling to go around Pat Gilroy. Once again it's Conor Deegan in the clear. Oh, he'd love to have scored there. Star golfer he may be, but in front of the post, well, not the best. Screws that one. James McCarthy picks it up. He's having quite a battle here with Paul Clark all this while. Ball runs loose and the referee says play on. And it's Paul Curran. Forward towards Keith Barr, pushed in the back by Greg Blaney. Referee going back now to check on James McCarthy is down. That last little collision there. Ribbon there attending to him. One of 4 down forwards playing this afternoon of the 6 who are past pupils of St. Colman's College in Newry. This is the chase for possession here, and he was really taken out of it rather badly. Deegan placing Pat Gilroy. Giving it back towards McDeegan, but he's a lot of work to do. Did well, still scampering after it. Paul Higgins coming up to tidy up. Brian Steins, Giacchini calling for it. Greg Bailey coming from behind. The slippery conditions not helping Mick Galvin that time. Unless it reaches Desi Farrell. Back towards Galvin again, slip sliding around the place. I wonder has he the correct studs on. Back towards Vinnie Murphy. Kicking, has he got the range? He has. That'll do Dublin an awful lot of good. Vinnie's first this afternoon. Just 5 between them. The hand pass here, setting up Vinnie Murphy. A truly executed kick. Deegan, that's a great catch by Deegan. On towards Mickey Linden. Look at the way Downer there in support the whole time, always believing they can get a score. This time denied by Dermot Deasy. Mick Deegan from Pat Gilroy back to the fullback once more. Playing adventurously. Stopped there by Ross Carr, but fouled at the 65-metre line. Too many options open for Deasy, so he has to go with the lateral pass here to Paddy Moran. Inside towards Charlie Redmond, runs on behind Micheál McGill. Neil Collins clearing it swiftly. Gregory McCartan. Again, there's always a man in support. This time it's Paul Higgins. McGill driving it. Dublin there in numbers, but it's broken down by Eamon Farrell as far as Keith Barr for the dumps. Poor ball, gives it straight to Eamon Burns. Linden powerless to prevent the ball from going on a play. Dublin, I think, are making a switch in defence. It appears that Paul Clark is now going on Mickey Linden, and Paul Curran has gone across onto James McCartan, who is now playing top of the left. Gary Mason's come out to left, half forward. Meanwhile, Barry Breen. That time ball. It's hung twice, and it's going to be a free to Dublin. It's a momentary lapse in concentration. So just about 10 minutes now to go to half-time. Charlie Redmond has 1 point to his credit so far, that from a 45. This is about the 45-metre line. Very close to the sideline. A difficult kick for Charlie. Will he opt to go for a score? Lobbing it in there. They're all inside. Brian Steins, one of the players in there at the end, and Micheál McGill standing firm. Brian Burns, his fullback. DJ Kane, the team captain. Down towards Mickey Linden, who now has a new marker, as I said. Paul Clark, his momentum carrying him out over the sideline. Greg Blaney takes it quickly. Clark is not back in time to mark Mickey Linden. But the ball has gone out over the sideline. Quick thinking by Down. Paul Curran has made a run across towards Paul Clark here. Towards Pat Gilroy. Took it with one hand. Very good. Nicely forward. This is a very enterprising one with Guyden involved. On towards Charlie Redmond, back to us now, Guyden. And he had Desi Farrell waiting, but he was in the small rectangle. And it's got over the bar. There was a real goal chance there. But Niall Guyden from Raheny, more than content with the point. Just 4 points separating the teams. Much as this builds up here, Desi Farrell was in there in the small rectangle the whole time. Charlie Redmond back to Guyden. That's where Desi was in the small rectangle, but the point counts. Conor Deegan punting it ahead. Once again, Aidan Farrell going onto his knees. Gary Mason now. That curls, and it's over. Great point. For Loughlin Island forward. Making it 1-7 to 5 points. where Conor Deegan, Dublin in defence, have been slow to react when down breaks so swiftly. This time it's Dermot Deasy, but Aidan Farrell complaining that he was pushed out of the way. Evan Burns runs away from him to Charlie Redmond, outside to Jack Sheedy. Got a good point earlier on. Back to Niall Guyton, who got the last for Dublin. Towards Dessie Farrell, won however by Paul Higgins, colliding there with Brian Steins. Back to Gregory McCartan, one of the newcomers to Championship football this year. Appeals there from Gary Mason, who was being pushed by Paddy Moore, and referee says play on. James McCartan spreading it wide. Mickey Linden having some work to do. Greg Blaney is in support if he needs him. Trying to skip away there from Paul Clark. Again, driving in well, making a better angle for himself, and a great score. A second point from Mickey Linden. He is so difficult to tie down. One of the greats of the game. This is one of his best seasons ever, I think. Watch as he came back from this run here. Take it up to the other boot and find the point range. Jack Sheedy touches it down. Vinnie Murphy trying to set the Dublin forwards going. Brian Steins constantly moving into attack, going for a point himself from a great distance out. That's a wonderful kick by Steins. So the two named midfielders for Dublin, Sheedy and Steins, have now scored. This is where that ball was picked up, a good 40 metres out. It's a great kick. Breaking, but the ball didn't reach him. Into Brian Steins instead. Paul Curran, much happier around right half back. Stopped by James McCartan. The match in the 1991 final. Charlie Redmond has come out to take this. 47 metres, as you can see, from the down goal. So Dublin 5 points in arrears. Can Charlie do something about that with this kick? Very deep, nicely in. Came out from Barry Breen, and there was a down man waiting for it. Paul Higgins, nicely forward, lovely combined play by the Ulster champions. DJ Kane. Dublin have been a bit hurried, a bit rushed. The cohesion has been lacking at times. The understanding coming from down. Gary Mason nicely forward towards Mickey Linden. And that time unable to contain that pass. John O'Leary locating McDeegan. Gilroy trying to flick it on towards Deegan. But the first touch isn't there. Deegan, a little bit of frustration there with his namesake Conor Deegan from Downpatrick. Tommy Subaru, I think the word there with Greg Blaney. Gregory McCartan towards Mickey Linden and Paul Clark still trying to come to terms with the threat posed by Linden, picking out McDeegan. Once again Dermot Deasy makes a run out of the full back line. It's judged well by Micheál McGill. He's playing very solidly. Out to Eamon Burns. More effects of the injury that hurt his preparations for this match. When they had possession there, it's rather wasted. Pat O'Neill, in a few minutes' time, will be heading down for the team talk, and I'm sure he'll have a lot to say. It's still there for the Dubs if they're good enough. Pat Gilroy Jack Sheedy now. This holds some promise. On his left-hand side, that's a great kick. He's kicking wonderfully this afternoon. A second point for the Garda. And once again, just 4 points between these teams. Right foot and left foot. Jack Sheedy's been able to do it this afternoon. A confident run forward, beating the attempted block by him and Burns. Conor Deegan breaks it down for Barry Breen. Used play in midfield. Towards Gary Mason. Against Brian Steins. Trying to set Desi Farrell on his way. Not if Paul Higgins has his way, and the trip there by Niall Guidance, spotted by referee Tommy Sugru. And there's going to be a little lecture for the number 12. About to have a second player booked in this match. First of all was Paul Curran, and now it's Niall Guidon for this trip coming in here. Gary Mason just got a nudge as that one came down towards Paddy Moran. Picked up here and then taken to ground by Dermot Deasy. The referee saying, back you go, let's keep it nice and calm. Bit of common sense needed. Gary Mason, the one who's last up. The referee today was in charge of 2 previous finals, 3 if you include the replay of 1988, and this the incident that's leading to a double booking. Watch here as a ball was picked up, and then Dermot Deasy took his man to ground. Deasy protesting, the referee isolating the two of them. So it's Gary Mason and also Dermot Deasy for having the names taken. The referee, I think, laying down the law to all and sundry. Maybe wet and slippery, but let's play by the rules. Pat Gilroy bursting through the centre here, but the referee says you fouled the ball. Free to down. Ross Carr this time deciding to leave it to the other free taker in the attack. And they have 3 in all, but one of them is Gary Mason, recently booked. Gregory McCartan was also a possible option for taking the free. Damp and dismal afternoon as we're into injury time in a match in which Down lead by 187 points. A late scoring chance at the end of this first half. Big kick from Gary Mason, tailing to the left. Just the second wide for Down in the first half. Dublin had 3. And the referee saying that's it for the first half. Been a good competitive first half. Down have looked the better prepared team. Their game plan is working well. They've imposed their will on Dublin. There's still another 35 minutes to go, and anything can happen. Half-time position here. It's Down 1-8 with 11 points. Dublin 7. So just 4 points between the teams, and the two coaches will have much to dwell on over the next 10 minutes, trying to instill a message or two into their teams that the destination of the Sam Maguire Cup for 1994 is very much still in the balance. So John O'Leary, one of the last to run off there, the Dublin goalkeeper and captain, appreciating that Billy Morgan in 1963 was the last goalkeeper to captain an All-Ireland winning team. So Down leaving the field as well. The goal by James McCartan after 18 minutes of the first half, and James might well have had a second, but for a wonderful save by John O'Leary earlier on. In terms of frees so far, Down had 9 and Dublin were awarded 7. So overall it's been a good sporting contest. I know the referee's been busy taking some names, but it hasn't been particularly nasty, thanks for the goodness. And right now we can get an update on how Dublin are feeling. Kieran Walsh is with Marty Morrissey.
Thank you very much, Ger. Kieran, your thoughts at half-time?
Very disappointing, Marty. We've made too many mistakes, too many simple mistakes. It's very slippy out there, and a lot of lads are fumbling ball, and we can't afford to give away balls like that. Also, we're giving away too many frees in the back line, and we give away the frees, they're just going to keep popping them over.
Mickey Linden is certainly causing you problems, and you had to switch Paul Curran out to the wing.
Yeah, I think Paul made a couple of mistakes at the beginning, and maybe his head went down a bit. But Mickey's a thorn on any side, and we just got to nail him down. Whoever's on, Paul Clark is on him now, and seems to be getting a hold of him. Mickey's a good footballer. We got to nail him down this second half.
Do you think that you've lost this All-Ireland final at this stage?
Oh, no way, Marty. There's still 35 minutes to go. I'm sure Pat has enough to say in there to them at half-time. They just got to get out there and battle. They haven't fought. They haven't went to win a ball. Just have to get their act together.
Kieran Walsh, thank you very much indeed.
Yes, it may not be the classic game of football that people were hoping for, but it's certainly an incident-packed game. We have much to talk about from that first half, which we'll do after the commercial break. Come back to us in the comments from the panel. The centre of the pitch, and this is the way all times. Back to Croke Park, so Frank Patterson is out on the pitch entertaining the crowd, and this is a blast of the rare old times for the Dublin supporters, of course. The rare old times at the moment. But Martin, it's rare old times, I'd say, in the Dublin dressing rooms. They try and sort themselves out right now.
They're under pressure, they're not winning any of the ball in the middle of the field, but they're still in the match. It's only 4 points down, and they could go down far more if McCartn's other goal had gone. So I mean, even though they'll be disappointed, they still feel that they still have to play, and I mean, the first 5 or 10 minutes of the second half will be important till they come out.
You mentioned that McCartan goal that he almost scored. This showed up some of the weaknesses that are there in the Dublin defence, some of the gaps that they've been leaving.
Yeah, well, what basically happened was Paul Clark cleared the ball out, and Barry Breen won the ball, and Paul Clark had left James McCartan inside on his own, and it's a great effort by McCartan, but it's a very good save by O'Leary, and I mean, it's a great credit. He is the best keeper in the country and has been, and that just showed exactly how good he was. But Paul Clark's clearance, actually having given away the ball, created the chance for McCartan to get there.
That's one Sean that got away for Down, but they did of course get their goal and took it very well in the game.
Superb goal. You had Aidan Farrell went away, and he created terrific room in at the back. And Mickey Linden, who has been a huge thorn in Dublin's side, he got the ball, transferred the ball, very unselfishly. The ball breaks. Okay, breaks the ball away.
But again, the gap, Sean, and the gap defence, obviously.
The gap. Mickey totally established into James. James, no better man to put the ball away in a situation like that.
McCartan will take a lot of satisfaction from that goal, Sean, because in fairness, he's been under an awful lot of physical pressure and attention from the Dublin backs.
Yes, he was. Not all legitimate, you know what I mean? It was it's been a satisfaction.
So, Martin, Dublin 4 points down at half-time. Is there a way back for them?
There is. I think that Pat Gilroy is not doing well from the middle of the field, and I would think that maybe they should take in Paul Beale and try to add a bit of strength to that area. I still think, I mean, as I said, the first 10 minutes is going to be important to both teams. I think Dublin, their forwards are actually good enough anytime they get the ball up, but they're not actually getting enough ball up.
Interestingly enough, Sean, although Down have had most of the play and have looked really superb at times in attack, there is still only that 4-point gap.
That's right, and the Dublin forwards are not getting enough ball up at all. They're very slow to transfer the ball from the Dublin backs. They're laying it too long, and if Dublin forwards get it up front, particularly the inside forwards, I think they could cause headaches for Down. But at this point in time, the Dublin are Down are very much the tendency.
All right, fascinating prospect then for the second half as we hand back to our big match commentator, Ger Canning.
Yes, the teams are back out. Frank Patterson is still performing with great style in the pouring rain with the senior and junior Artane boys bands.
Well, it's been a very tough and a very absorbing first half. We're 4 ahead. We've played well in patches. Dublin have played well in patches, but certainly the second 35 minutes, I think it's going to be even tougher.
You were concerned before the game because of the weather that it would affect your players negatively.
But I think to win in All-Ireland, you have to be able to play in any conditions, and we have showed so far we can. But with 35 minutes, hard work still ahead of us, and I think at the end of it all, well, the better team will win.
Thank you very much, Pete McGrath. Just to tell you as well, no changes on the Dublin team at half-time. Pat O'Neill gave a rip-roaring pep talk, hoping to win that All-Ireland.
I'm absolutely certain that Pat O'Neill had a lot to say, because when you look around the field and you think, which of the Dublin players is dominating his man this afternoon, you come to a negative answer, I'm afraid. And Frank Patterson leaving Croke Park, having entertained the huge crowds here. The Dublin defence at the start of the second half was Paddy Moore and Dermot Deasy and Paul Clark. Clark on Mickey Linden. Such a tough task. Once again, it's Pat Gilroy and Brian Steins who are starting out in midfield against Gregory McCartan and Conor Deegan. And a look through the Dublin forward line, the positions are identical, so no switches or changes. Just Dublin right now with 2 rather than 3 in midfield. The new stand in the background will be completed this time next year. What a magnificent addition it will be to the facilities here at Croke Park. So I think, as the old phrase goes, it's all to play for. And all we're short now is our match referee. And here he comes. So then it's down 1 goal and 8 points, Dublin 7 points, a mere 4 points between the teams. Down looking for a 5th. Dublin looking for his 22nd All-Ireland success. Gregory McCartan straight away. Followed by Brian Steins. First 5-10 minutes here, I think, will be absolutely vital. Although having said that, you think about the game we had here 2 weeks ago. James McCartan, he's switched around there. Now playing on the right-hand side. And once again, Paul Curran conceding the free kick. McCartan and Deegan causing untold problems to Dublin in defence. Ross Carr getting ready to take this free kick. Two successes out of 3 kicks so far for Ross Carr from the frees. Does it curl in? Straight at John O'Leary. Great save again with the forwards coming in. McDeegan belting it out. Brian White is the linesman here on the near side for the second half. DJ Kane starting over on the right wing once again. That's gone out of play. It's an interesting statistic, just 3 wides for down, not the first obviously in the second half. And John O'Leary, who likes to normally take the kick-outs as quickly as possible after the ball has gone wide. Downer alert to that this afternoon. They're marking very tightly. Jack Sheedy scored 2 very good points in the first half. To get away from Eamon Burns, transferred inside here towards Paul Curran. Curran up in the attack, back towards Jack Sheedy, and that's gone wide. I think he'll be the first to appreciate that that should have gone between the posts. Jack Sheedy there was supported by Paul Curran. Just look at the expression on the face. Looks could kill. Barry Breen. Ball finding its way back towards Micheál McGill. The foul by Niall Guyton putting in the boot. Hall McGill was attempting to pick the ball up. Dublin are preparing Paul Beelan across on the far side. I think the message is pretty clear. Start producing the goods pretty soon in midfield or somebody's gone. Paul Beelan indeed is being brought in straight away. Just 3 minutes into the second half. Beelan coming in for his 16th championship appearance, 7th time to come on as a sub. And as anticipated, Pat Gilroy is the one who's making way. Beelan, I seem to recall, also come on as a sub in midfield for Dave Foran in the 1992 final. It's touched on by Ross Carr. DJ Kane is beaten for it by Charlie Redmond, but Charlie and McDeegan, and that could have been very nasty indeed. Charlie colliding here with the stanchion, which is, as you can see, well covered, has been during this All-Ireland series, just to prevent a nasty injury like that one there. A head injury. Ball awkwardly coming away here. DJ Kane, McDeegan was there with Charlie, they were leaving it for one another, then Charlie collided with that pole. And the post now well protected by rubber material, but still the impact of that really hurt. Rovers putting these rubber coverings in place because there was always the possibility of somebody picking up a nasty injury. The sheer intensity of McDeegan and Charlie Redmond going for that ball. The attendance today, by the way, 58,684. Dr. Pat O'Neill and Dr. Pat Duggan as well in there, making sure that the Aaron Zile man is okay and able to continue. They really need a big showing from Charlie. He's been their star all season, and thankfully he's able to play on. Fisted down by Beelan, he's positive straight away. Then gives it back towards Micheál McGill. DJ Kane. Niall Guiden going back up, goal side. And that goes aimlessly into space. John O'Leary with Aidan Farrell picking himself among the photographers. John O'Leary had been given a ball. There's one of the ball boys bringing back another football. Linesman Brian White is bringing something to the referee's attention. They're getting the best possible pictures for tomorrow's papers. Maybe just a case of keep an eye on something. Out by Ross Carr. Towards Aidan Farrell. Dermot Deasy out there first time. James McCartan in and on the group of players there, which includes Paul Beelan. And James wants to take the free kick quickly, and Keith Barr will not go back to 13 metres. This time it's Gary Mason who'll come and take the free. Again, James McCartan causing lots and lots of problems. There was a free kick in the first half for a down, and Dublin, I don't think, went back the full 13 metres. This was from the 13-metre line at that stage, and that could well have been a penalty, so the rule book says. Now Gary Mason. No trouble this time. Second point for Gary Mason. Now the first score of the second half, coming nearly 7 minutes into the half. But they're playing for the son of Sam. Or will it be going to the mountains of Mourne? Or will Sam be with Molly Malone and Vinnie Mulligan for the next 12 months? Free kick, Dublin want to take it quickly. The referee says, up you get. A wretchedly damp afternoon, certainly not contributing to the entertainment. Paul Curran, so difficult to get space. The pressure there from the down forwards created that move there where he kicked the ball out of play. Carton is urged on by the people on the bench over there. Son of Jim, of course, who won All-Ireland medals in 1960 and 61. Gary Mason has it, thought about a pass. But it's Dermot Deasy. He picks out Paul Curran. Long one down towards Vinnie Murphy. We've yet to see the best of Vinnie or Dessie Farrell. Just losing his way momentarily, regaining his composure and possession. A hopeful kick and an accurate one. Great point. The first of the afternoon for Dessie Farrell. So once again, as at half-time, there's just 4 points between the teams. And power goal for Dublin would really open up this match. This is Dessie Farrell kicking to that left boot. Great point. Good kick out into that congested area in midfield. Jack Sheedy coming away from it, winning the breaking ball. DJ Kane looking up to see who's moving up the ball here. Greg Blaney. Back once again to Ross Carr, the referee having to get out of the way quickly. Sheedy was there as well. Aidan Farrell now. Caused many problems to Dermot Deasy in the first 20 minutes. Mickey Linden. Jersey's been pulled there. They're powerless to dispossess him. Greg Blaney, fouled, free in. At times the Dublin defence being run ragged. This is where Linden, a couple of players after him, and then Greg Blaney, the player who was fouled, by Keith Barr. An unhappy afternoon so far. Well, there's still plenty of time. This time it'll be Gary Mason. 1 out of 2 so far from frees for Gary Mason. To make that now 2 out of 3. His 3rd point of the match. And down lead by 110 to 8 points. Again, John O'Leary opting to go short to McDeegan. Dermot Deasy now taking it up. Jack Sheedy struggling to get the ball in play. The passing out of defence has been less than certain, very often taking the wrong option. One time, Jack Sheedy knocked back 13 metres. Referee bringing the play forward. A real struggle of an All-Ireland final. Gregory McCarthy hit deep inside there, missed by a number of players. One of them was Brian Steins. And that's gone off a defender. It'll be a 45. A second one for down. Very dangerous attack that. Having the difficult assignment of keeping tabs on Mickey Linden. Paddy Moran is ready. And once again, Gary Mason to kick. Slipping as he hit it, and Brian Steins gathering, but it's won back by Greg Blaney. The Belfast-based dentist finding it inside towards Farrell, looking for a goal! And Mickey Linden has to be content with a point. That's a 3rd for Mickey Linden. But Down were very nearly in for another goal. They've had the greater number of goal chances this afternoon. Again, it's taken quickly and short. Brian Steins. Berger McCarthy and Conor Deegan. Charlie Redmond winning it. Nicely on here for Paul Curran. Curran to race at the down backs and go for his own score. Much happier to be well away from the corner back position, in particular Mickey Linden, seen as a scoring threat. Once again, Dublin considering a possible change. Pat O'Neill can use two more subs, of course. In midfield, it's Ross Carr, who's got fresh gloves, but he leaves that one behind to Mick Deegan. Outside to Paul Curran, loves to press forward. Carr in pursuit, runs away from the two of them. One back. Down playing well as a unit. Ross Carr out of defence. Jack Sheedy back there, trying to set up a Dublin attack, trying to bridge the gap. Desi Farrell inside, goes Charlie Redmond, released beautifully to Niall Guyden. Slightly off balance as his kicking, and that's gone away to the left-hand side. Dublin's third wide of the second half, and they're sixth in all. Big roar from Hill 16. Big roar from the canal end as well. The rival supporters getting behind their team. Fisted away by Jack Sheedy, into space, nobody there for him except Micheál McGill. Going to pick out Mickey Linden, the broken ball here, won by Greg Blaney, knocking it on well to Mickey Linden. There are real possibilities, 4 against 2, not counting the goalkeeper, and Linden goes for the point, sensibly so. His fourth, Downer flying, nearly 15 minutes into the second half. This was a great attack, but look how stretched Dublin were, just 2 backs there, aside from the goalkeeper. Satisfied look on the face of Pete McGrath. His team doing him justice. Vinnie Murphy trying to curl one inside here, but Dublin now playing like individuals and lacking the cohesion up front in particular. DJ Kane. Dublin needing to settle. It's a critical stage in the match. They have to get some scores, and quickly. DJ Kane winning that race for possession with Niall Guyden. Down get the free kick. The Ulster champions in no particular hurry now. Plenty more in the latest one to have James McCartan to mark. McGill, touched by Gregory McCarthy. Desi Farrell, very deep now. Well, that's in there towards Vinnie Murphy, who's pulled down by Barry Breen. Dublin have the free. And Dublin now also taking the opportunity of bringing on a fresh player. Sean Cahill is the one who's about to come in as we watch this replay. Vinnie going to ground, courtesy of a tackle by Barry Breen. Sean Cahill then coming in. He has previous championship experience, played during the Leinster Championship. And we're still waiting to see just who is coming off. The referee holding up the match for a second to say, hang on, you can only have 15 on. I think it's going to be Mick Galvin who goes as Charlie Redmond kicks and finds the range. Just his second point of the match. Down have done well in not fouling in key positions, thereby giving Charlie the chance to kick. And it's 112 to 10 points. Conor Deegan breaks it down. And as ever, there's somebody there responding to that. This time Gary Mason getting support here from Barry Breen. Fisted away here by Paddy Moran. Mick Deegan waiting for it. Selling it up to James McCartan. Brian Steins. And now Guyton take many, many steps that time. Jersey was pulled by Conor Deegan. Play on, the referee says. Charlie Redmond opening up the play, this time across towards the freshman who's come on, who's Sean Cahill. Back to McDeegan, hoping this one will curl inside, but no such luck. Groans of disappointment up on Hill 16. A look of disappointment as well on the face there of Deegan. Great place to watch a match from. Great place if your team wins, but if they're losing, it's miserable, I'm sure. Good call there from Paul Beelan to claim that would have midfield. Good catch. This time Jack Sheeny putting the head down, going forward with purpose. He had support. Brian Steins is alongside him. Needs to release it quickly to Charlie Redmond. Here's a goal possibility. Micheál McGill got a good block on that. It comes out to Gregory McCartan. Real goal possibilities there. Just what Dublin needed. And they need now to generate more momentum. Keep down under some pressure. Vinnie Murphy. Bad pass. Charlie was waiting for it. So it's Micheál McGill. He's played soundly all through. Murphy now, as you can see, in there at full forward. Not a good free kick. Pressure now is back on the down defence. McDeegan. In towards Desi Farrell. Reaching out as well, there was Paul Higgins, who got the last touch. The umpire says it was clearly the forward. Now appreciating that there's just 15 minutes left. Cahill beaten for it, but might recover. Does so. Cross towards Vinnie Murphy. On a set of a scoring chance for Niall Guyton, who was pulled that time by Brian Burns. The referee says, just take your time. Dublin's free kick. Guyton was thinking about it. Very quickly taken free. This to try and eat into the down lead once again. Charlie with 3 frees. This is latest one. Straight over the bar. So as before, the lead is down to 4 points. It's still there for the taking. Down still have to win it. Dublin want to win it very badly. Paul Curran out there to win that ball fast. In very awkward conditions. And Barry Breen stuck with him the whole time, but was leaning in on top. And the referee now stepping in quickly because the ball wasn't released fast enough. It comes out here to Paul Beelan. Going for an individual score. Kept down well. Neil Collins put under some pressure, having the confidence to link up with Brian Burns. Swept away to the far side. The Dubs now, you feel, will really torment down if they can at all. Paul Beelan, his introduction was a good one. Gregory McCartan. Dublin need a bit more accurate passing. Meanwhile, it's the Dublin backs who have to contend with Mickey Linden and company. At that time, as his jersey was being pulled, he lost possession. Paul Clark to Paul Beelan, or rather to Brian Steins. Steins up quickly to take it himself. Micheál McGill. How often the ball seems to come to him. 2 players down injured as Charlie kicks it inside. Sean Cahill coming onto it. possibilities of a score here as he goes very, very far back indeed towards Niall Guyton. Well, they're taking the tourist trail towards the down goal, and that's gone wide. Paul Curran, the one who got the final kick on that. But all that was happening down still with a player down injured. It seems to be Micheál McGill. He collided, I think, with Charlie Redmond earlier on. Now, was it a tangle or was there a foul? I think the down fans fancy it was the latter. Let's just see if we can throw some light on what happened just before that happened. I think it was a blow delivered after the ball was passed. This worth taking a look at again. Right-hand side of the screen. I think it's Vinnie Murphy, the player involved, and for that he's had his name taken. Micheál's okay from scenic Warren Point in County Down. Down fans at Canal End. Tickets were so hard to come by as Johnny Barr warms up, if he can warm up in these miserable conditions. Gregory McCartan takes that one with some style. Good delivery in towards the forwards. Mickey Linden. Paul Clark, the one who got a boot to it. Niall Guyton tried to take it up. Ross Carr showing greater composure. He's fouled. Straight at Paul Clark, who didn't retreat fast enough. The referee, Tommy Sugar, says we'll bring that ball forward 13 metres. Wants to try and force the pace once again. Aidan Farrell takes it well. Kicking, but straight at John O'Leary, who now has the chance to build up from the back. Remember, just 4 points between the teams. It hasn't been the classic we'd hoped for, by any means. As you can see, 10 minutes left. Gregory McCartan kicking. Mickey Linden trying to take it at the end, but it just ran away from him. And Dublin now prepared to introduce their third and final substitute. Johnny Barr putting on the gloves. I'm sure Dr. Pat O'Neill has said, Offaly did it 2 weeks ago in 5 minutes. We've now got 10. Gregory McCartan breaks it down, but Nick Deegan coming forward. Sean Cahill playing in his first All-Ireland final. Good control. Great shot and a wonderful point by the substitute. And that will do Dublin a lot of good. Just 3 between them. A mere goal separating the sides. Great move here by Sean Cahill. A young player showing wonderful composure. Niall Guyton is a player who's been replaced by Johnny Barr. So we now have 2 Bars in the Dublin team. It breaks away there towards Paul Curran, and again foul in the act of taking the ball up, free to Dublin. They did everything at this stage. Curran, great deep one towards Charlie Redmond, coming down towards Johnny Barr. First touch, release that side here. Dessie Farrell trying to swing, that's a penalty! Had to be! Dessie Farrell taken down, up on hill 16. They believe there's still time and still hope. This is the attack that led to all of that. Down at 6s and 7s, Charlie Redmond in there. Johnny Barr just swung the boot at him. Watson went outside towards Dessie Farrell. And Farrell with Paul Higgins there and Brian Burns. He went down. They said penalty. Referee agreed. Well, this year in the championship, there have been 13 penalties, 7 goals and 1 point scored so far. So this is the 14th goal of the penalty. Charlie scored against Kildare already in the championship from a penalty. And this one has been stopped, and he's put it wide. Oh, Charlie Redmond. The gods did not smile on him. It happened in 1992 as well. Then against Donegal. Now against Down. And that was straight at goalkeeper Neil Collins. And he had a chance to follow up as well. Real drama now in the last 7 minutes. Collins a hero. And it's become a game of heroes and villains. Paul Beelan to Paul Curran. Charlie Redmond. Micheál McGill. How often in this match the ball has found the right corner back. And Jack Sheedy saying out of my way quickly to Mickey Linden. Dublin have been the nearly team in recent years. Down have looked the better side all through this match and all through the championship. But they lived dangerously in the last couple of seconds. This is picked up by Jack Sheedy. Paul Curran now. Good deep one. Paul Higgins under pressure from Desi Farrell. Ball runs on, touched on the ground, free kick. Brita Down. Down have built up this big lead earlier on, but now in some 14 minutes we make it since they last scored. Tense, nervous minutes for Pete McGrath and the selectors. Encouragement being roared on there. Gregory McCartan takes it. They need a score now badly, just to stay comfortably ahead. They lead by just 3 points. Ross Carr, high and hopeful, but away to the left. Down 6 wide of this match. Dublin have had 10. Down quickly closed down any possible loophole there as John O'Leary was thinking about a quick kick out. Jack Sheedy handling it well. Running well away from Gregory McCartan towards Charlie Redmond. Back beautifully. Sheedy needs a score. Johnny Barr kicking left. Oh, that went through the legs there of Barry Breen, and it's gone for a 45. And Dublin have been close on a couple of times now in the last few minutes. They want to take the 45 quickly. 5 minutes left. This is where Jack Sheedy is showing some power and good control. On towards Johnny Barr, really latched at it through the legs of Barry Breen. He got the last touch. Charlie Redmond has come out to take this 45. He scored from a 45 earlier on in the game. This is a vital kick. And he's put it wide. And nothing is going right for Charlie. Banged his head on that stanchion into the bargain during the second half and missed the penalty. Down the team, as we said at the outset, with a 100% record in All-Ireland finals. Is this to be title number 5, or is there a way back for the Dubs? Conor Deegan trying to break it down. Eamon Burns partly blocked over there by Dermot Deasy of all people. A game that's been played in a downpour all through. Never really reached the heights we expected. Not that Down will mind that if they go on to hold their lead. Mickey Linden back to Ross Carr, who started the move. Dermot Deasy cutting it out. Aidan Farrell had been in position. Brian Steins. 3 points separating the teams. Steins beats Eamon Burns. Nice pick up by Johnny Barr. Back to Steins again. Came back from Australian rules football to play in his first All-Ireland senior final. Charlie Redmond. Dublin needing a bit of luck. Down needing to hold out, keep their lead. Paul Curran trying to dodge inside. Charlie's there, comes back off Barry Breen. Recovered here again by Paul Curran. Ball set outside, was it a throw? The referee says it was, and it's going to be a free out. Oh, Tommy Suber's been right up with the play from the very first whistle. Most disappointed, the team manager. Down never really allowed Dublin to impose their will on this game. except for some moments during the second half when there were a few chances. But overall, the better performance has come from the Ulster champions. Now, can they hold their lead? Not if Sean Cahill and company have their way. Free on the 65-metre line. Down back quickly to pick up loose men. It's taken too quickly, and the referee spotting that there's a down player on the ground. Conor Deegan, the injured player, attended by the team doctor. Looks a nasty one. I think we're taking a look at that again. Sean Cahill coming through. Watching the free kick being taken quickly, and then he called it back, realising that Conor Deegan was in considerable distress, having been injured moments earlier. May just get a chance yet to see what happens here. Two Dublin players colliding with him. One of them there was Paul Clark. Came down very awkwardly indeed, the guy number 9. Keith Barr has taken the free kick. In deep it goes. Micheál McGill out there fast once again. Ball booted. Johnny Barr in there chasing. And Ross Carr, the right half forward, is way back around his own full back line. What they have, they hold. Gregory McCartan, Mickey Linden. From time to time, it's been a brilliant down performance. Linden looking for a point, perhaps to kill off the Dublin challenge. John O'Leary played outside here to Sean Cahill. Conor Deegan now limping. Perhaps they should consider a very late replacement, as effectively they're down to 14 players. Jack Sheedy on for Mick Deegan. Dublin have to get a goal. They've got a free in. We're almost into injury time. Conor Deegan is being replaced. That's taken quickly towards Jack Sheedy. Can Dublin conjure a goal from somewhere? They've got a point from Charlie Redmond. But perhaps too little too late. It's now at the discretion of the referee. 4 points for Charlie Redmond. Jared Colgan is the player who's come in for down to replace Conor Deegan. I remember in 1991 a certain first round of the Leinster against Meath. And you remember then that Meath came so late. That's what Dublin are now hoping, as Conor Deegan is treated off the field, down and ready to celebrate. How much time will the referee add on? Neil Collins, wondering. It's now down to Tommy Sugru. How much time is left? Dublin need possession badly. Keith Barr. Down towards Charlie Redmond, broken down to Vinnie Murphy. Two between them. Ball runs loose. The enterprising pick there from Brian Starnes, producing absolutely nothing except to waste a few valuable seconds. Down are ready to celebrate. Contrasting faces there, the two goalkeepers. John O'Leary so disappointed. Neil Collins expecting the whistle at any moment. Jared Colgan, the substitute, touching that one down, and that's going to be a free to down. Boot sliding in there, the prize on offer. The most famous trophies, or perhaps the most famous trophy in Irish sport. All eyes on Tommy Sugru, and it's all over! Down are the All-Ireland champions from 1994. They won it in 1960, 1961, 1968, 1991, and now this year. And their record in finals is unblemished. 5 out of 5. Well, they may celebrate. It was a great team performance overall. They faced some worrying moments from John O'Leary's colleagues in the second half, in particular from the luckless Charlie Redmond. Missed the penalty, which was saved by Neil Collins. And So trophy presentation time in just a few seconds' time. Dublin will be so disappointed, having come so near in recent years. Paul Curran made some great runs forward. Dermot Deasy moved out around midfield at times, but now it's time for Down to claim their trophy.
Covarru's selection Ferdinand Doon. Agus Covarru's player, Dear Evan Video. Ladies and gentlemen, we have seen a great sporting game of football today. We've had two great games and a great programme. Thoroughly enjoyed by a capacity crowd, and I want to congratulate the crowd on their restraint in staying in their seats until the game was over. Because the New Crow Park has no need of fencing, and you are the people who will decide that. This year has been the first year of our association with the Bank of Ireland, and I welcome Pat McDowell here on my left to take part in the presentation of the Sam Maguire. Courtney Shaw, Agdol, with the Husker the Reach. Agus Leishin, Taz of Courtney Shaw, brother, Leishin captain, DJ Kane.
Jack Boozman making the presentation in the presence of the President of Ireland. And DJ Kane is the happiest man in Ireland right now, and certainly the proudest. Down are the champions once again.
Agus a Cargellig, Thomas Moore, McCree, on Curran, Maguire, Ilo, Hectron, Thomas Good Class Kale, on Tursel Boothma, Gold Vegas, Lagat Dinya, Akiji, Lynn, and Cree Vernon, which this was a very, very hard game. In difficult conditions, and I think it's a credit to both teams, the football that was played. This team has come a long way in a year, and I think we have proved that it was no fluke in '81. Well, I want to personally thank the players for their commitment this year, and especially the management of Pete McGrath, John Murphy, Pat O'Hara, and Donny Murphy. I'd like to thank the sponsors, the Bank of Ireland, for helping the game. And I'd like to thank a special word of thanks to our own sponsors, the Ulster Bank, in particular Fonzie Carr and Edward Johnson, for giving us in trying circumstances. Thank you.
It's a wonderfully proud moment. I suppose every footballer dreams of being up there lifting the Sam Maguire. And DJ has done it. The vice-captain, Mickey Linden. Curiously, Down created fewer scoring chances, 24 against 30 for Dublin, but they're the champions. Greg Blaney coming down here. Another All-Ireland medal for Greg Blaney. What a career. Barry Breen. Paul Higgins. Neil Collins saved the penalty. Micheál McGill, the smiling face there. And he'll know where to get a good bang or two, I'm sure, tonight and tomorrow night. James McCartan had some great moments in the first half. Got the vital goal as well after 18 minutes. And Dublin have to wait at least another year for the return of Sam. Eamon Burns. Brian Burns there. That's Gary Mason going through shot. And Ross Carr, the very popular host of the Brass Monkey in Newry. I'm sure they're celebrating up there right now.
Brilliant, DJ.
A wink for a friend from DJ. Conor Deegan has come back to the presentation area. Great moment for Conor. Kieran McCabe there, and Peter Whitnell, who starred, of course, in 1991. Brian McAvoy is in there, I think, the county secretary as well. Thought I spotted him. Great day for Pete McGrath. There's Brian McAvoy. And Sam is on his way north once again.
Let them see it, John. Let them see it.
So we've got some further comments coming up very shortly, and of course we'll have interviews with the players. Right now, let's go back to Michael.
Yes, Dublin will mourn for Sam, the banner says down there at the canal end, and how true that turned out to be. Down, of course, started it all in 1991, then it was Donegal after that, Derry last year. Who would have believed 4 years later that Sam Maguire would remain in Ulster, back in the hands of the Down Mini gang? Well, we're going to have analysis of what we saw in this year's All-Ireland final, plus hopefully some interviews with those taking part after our commercial break, so don't go away.
The famous McDonald's hamburger and the McDonald's cheeseburger. Amazingly, McDonald's have made them even more appetizing, not by adding something, but by reducing something, the price. Because right now at every McDonald's nationwide, a hamburger costs just 59p and a cheeseburger just 69p. Tempting, isn't it?
Of red and black as the Down supporters celebrate their second All-Ireland victory of the 90s. John O'Leary, the Dublin captain, was down just a moment ago at Hill 16, thanking the Dublin supporters for all of their support through the match here this afternoon. But Martin McHugh, at the end of the day, it was down and down all the way.
Yeah, Down with a stronger team all through, and I mean, Dublin will have only themselves to blame in a way because they missed a lot of chances. And if you look at even taking the penalty incident, I think maybe that when Charlie haven't missed so many penalties in big matches, I think really it was time to change their penalty taker and maybe take that pressure off his shoulders. It's heavy pressure for a player to carry, and maybe sometimes it's a fellow with power in Gaelic football, because 60% of penalties are missed in Gaelic football.
Martin, I'll interrupt you there for a moment. Some of the rougher elements, perhaps, that have attended the All-Ireland final today are getting into action down on the pitch. Ger Canning, you've been looking at what's been happening.
Well, just a little bit of jostling, in fact. The Dublin supporters have come out there from Hill 16, and some of the Down youngsters were going in there, and really it was triumphalism. They were in trying to show their colours, and they were quickly run out of it, but thankfully it's all come to nothing.
All right, Gerald, thank you very much for that. Sean Boylan, the big chance for Dublin in the second half was that penalty opportunity for Charlie Redmond. Now, we're going to take a look at it again. As Charlie stepped up to the ball, I did remind you about the Leinster final a couple of years ago against Meath when Charlie was in a similar situation.
Sorry, it reminded me of it all right, except that today was probably an even more important one for him. And it's hard luck on Charlie, you know, he's the man that had to take and so on, but let's not forget the fantastic save by Neil Collins.
Here's the incident first, Martin McHugh. Now, you thought this wasn't a penalty at all.
I thought it wasn't a penalty at the time. Now, it's very hard to see, but I think that Desi just fell as he was going on the ball, and I thought there was actually good tackling from the Down defence in that incident. But it's very hard to see it exactly. But I think maybe that Desi just fell, actually put himself to the ground when it goes through his hands and that's it there. It seemed to be, I don't know, maybe his left hand caught him and pulled him round. Maybe that's what happened. But
yeah. In fairness to Johnny Barr, he had a goal there. You know, yeah. He tried to take it on, have a goal.
I think they're looking at this that actually the second chance was actually maybe as good a chance as the first one. Charlie, if he'd just get to the ball, it'd be a bit easier. But penalties are very hard to put away in Gaelic football. There's a lot of pressure on players. Charlie actually tries to place them. Maybe it'd be better just to bang it, you know.
Yeah. Well, he got the second opportunity, Sean, as we said, and that just wouldn't go for him either.
That's right. It proves one thing, I suppose, Michael, more than anything else. It doesn't matter when you get your scores. And Down went for 22, 23 minutes there without getting a score at all. But they had enough on the board, and they played like champions right through. And let's not take that from them. They played as a remarkable comeback from a couple of years ago. And full credit to them. And let's not lose sight of that. It was a fantastic achievement by them.
They did something similar, Martin, in the semi-final against Cork. Went into this valley period in the second half and they found scores very hard to come by.
Yeah, well, they only scored 4 points in the entire second half. And I think the time that they won this match, the same time as they won the game against Cork, was the first 10 minutes of the second half, and they actually put on the pressure. But Down, I mean, it's a worrying aspect for Down, but I mean, they don't have to worry about it tonight. But I mean, 4 points the second half was a bad returns. But I think again, Nicky Linden and James McCartan proved the thorn in the Dublin defence. And we were saying here maybe that they should have played Mick Deegan, who's a natural cornerback, on Linden. But Linden probably was man of the match in the end up, and he worked on breadcrumbs the second half, but he still, anytime he got the ball, there's a buzz about the place.
Yeah, Sean, there's no doubt that Mickey Linden is a class player, and he showed it yet again today, despite all the attention that he's under, let's say, from defences.
That's right, but today, some of the ball he got in was marvellous, but some of it wasn't. But his industry today was terrific, and his 2 points in the second half, along with the 2 in the first half, it put the seal on the match for Down. The one thing about him is he's totally unselfish, and we saw that with the goal that he set up for James McCartan as well. He's a player that he commands a huge amount of attention. And you say to yourself, well, how can I play him? Well, sure, that's why he's so good.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for the moment. Let's go down to the dressing room area. Marty Morrissey, I think, has beaten his way in amongst the crowd there. Well, Marty may have beaten his way in amongst the crowd in the dressing room. If he has, he's gone and disappeared on us for the moment. Not to worry, we'll be back to Marty again. Oh, hang on, wait a minute, we found him again. Here's Marty.
Thank you very much, Michael. Micheál McGill, a great moment for Down.
Absolutely fantastic, Marty. There's 30 fellas in there and they're just over the moon. We've proved a lot of people wrong here. We have proved a lot of media wrong. There's certain people have wrote this team off. We proved them today. They know who they are, and we're just delighted with the win.
Did you think at half-time that Dublin were going to come so strongly in the second half?
We knew Dublin were going to be very, very hard to beat. We had to play a full 70 minutes of pure hard football. We come in half-time, I think we were 4 points up. We knew the first 10, 15 minutes of the second half were going to be very, very important. Whenever the penalty was awarded, I think there was about 15 minutes to go. They've been the longest 15 minutes of my life. Whenever the final whistle went, it was just pure adulation. Absolutely fantastic.
What did you think of the penalty?
At the time, I thought it was a very harsh decision, and I'm sticking by that. I thought Desi was sort of backing into Paul at the time, but Neil Collins made a tremendous save, and then the boys followed up and Charlie put the rebound wide. Then it stunk in that Sam was coming north again.
Well done, Micheál.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
I just would like to mention all the boys with more points and Peters with more point. That one's for you.
Excellent, well done. We also have Gregory McCartan. Gregory, great win for Down. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks very much. John O'Shea told me to go this way.
Great. It was a tough match, and certainly you found it hard against Dublin in the second half.
Yeah, they brought on 2 very big guys, Paul Beale and another number 20. Started to crowd the midfield and break a lot of ball, which caused our half forwards to come in, you know, Greg and Ross, James looking for the breaks. We left our forward line very exposed, you know, and when the ball's into them, Mickey, Gary and Aidan found themselves, you know, exposed, left themselves very isolated, you know. But lucky enough to weather the storm and go through it all right, you know.
The fact that you didn't score since the 14th minute, I think, that obviously doesn't worry you now, but it must have worried you with a couple of minutes to go.
I didn't actually know that there, but we're still playing well, you know, and we're getting forward. Like, admittedly, we're in the middle of a storm at the time, but we're through all right, you know.
Well done, Gregory McCartan. Views from the dressing room. Back to you, Michael.
And that's where we wrap it from Croke Park. We leave you with a reminder about the Sunday game later on tonight. Now, it's at the later time of 9 o'clock on Network 2. I hope that you'll join me for that, for analysis of today's match with Colin O'Rourke. We'll also be making our man of the match selection from this year's All-Ireland final. Don't forget our phone line numbers as well. 643535 is the number to ring on the programme. And those phone lines are open now if you have any comments on this year's All-Ireland final. That's the Sunday game, 9 o'clock on Network 2. We leave you, though, with congratulations to the Miners of Kerry and, of course, to the Seniors of Down, who have taken this year's All-Ireland finals. Down did it with that first half goal that set them up for victory.